Hey everyone, it's Megan with the CraftyPlannerLovR here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we are going to be doing a book review on A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Sadly, you guys, this is our final book in the ACOTAR series, but I read it back in February, so I'm finally doing a review on that book and talking about my thoughts about the ACOTAR series. So I have a couple of stickers here. Some of these are from Temu, and some of them are from a sticker pack that I got a long time ago. It probably is from Temu. It might be from a small business that is no longer in the shop, but I'm going to be honest with you, I bought it back when I started reading the ACOTAR series, so back in like November of last year, so I don't really remember where it's from. But these ones specifically are from Temu. So I got these two because I think this is the Valerian crew, I think. I could be wrong, because I don't think that the sisters are, I think this is the sisters, and I think this is the Valerian crew. So that's why I got it, because they're very important to the book. I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to be Nesta. I imagine her to look more like this. So I don't know if I'm going to use this one, but I got it just in case. I also brought out this one in case I wanted to use it, because in the book they are in Valeris. So I thought this was pretty important. Because it's focusing more on Nesta, I brought this one out. This is the Night Court. She's not part of the Night Court, but it's a library card. So I thought it would be cool to use. I also have this book that says A Court of Smut and Wingspan, which fits this book very much. So I thought that would be perfect. And then this isn't a quote. I don't think. I could be very wrong. Like I said, it's been since February that I've read it, so I don't exactly remember where all the quotes come from. But this one says, "Don't let the hard days win." I'm pretty sure this is between Rysand and Farah, but I think this is also very important to Nesta's story, so I decided to use it for that. And then we have did I say Illyrians? I meant to say the Valkyries. Sorry, my brain's not working for this group of girls here. Then we have that sticker pack, whatever it's called. This says Valkyrie here. This is like I know I got this from a Etsy. It was a small business. I can't remember where it's from, but I got this die cut from them. It is just the sword and basically all of the elements that she uses in the book. This one says, "I nearly went to my knees before you." This one says, "Climb the mountain." This one is more of those elements, and then we have the mask. And then because of the color scheme that we have going on here, I also picked this sparkly red washi from my stash because it really reminds me of Nesta and how very, very Firehearted she is. I think Fireheart is actually from the Throne of Glass books, but correct me if I'm wrong. And then I also have this script washi from Robin's Planning Nest that I thought would work well with the colors that we have. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the book. So this is my reading planner. This is my B6 Rings Print Pression Planner using the Galleria Designs Co. Reading Journal inserts. I printed them out on my own printer. I have a whole setup on that if you guys want to see the full details of this. If you missed my Onyx Storm book review, I just did one on that. So this is kind of similar to what we're going to be doing with my A Court of Silver Flames book. I actually, like I said, I finished it I read it in between the month of February. I started it on January 31st, finished on March 8th. But because this is the only book I read in the month, and I read it pretty much throughout the month, I'm going to have the book review in this section. So let's get started with our review. So obviously this book is going to have some spoilers from the previous books. So if you are wanting to read the books and you haven't read them yet and you don't want to be spoiled, which is kind of hard now because everyone's talking about it, if you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and put this video on 2x speed, mute it, and you can just watch me plan and decorate this spread. If you are not familiar with A Court of Silver Flames, this is going to have some discussion about Nesta specifically, because that is her story, and it's not a spoiler that it's a book about Nesta and her journey, but it does have some spoilers in it. So if you don't want to know what happens in A Court of Silver Flames, then again, put this video on 2x speed and go through it. But I will put a little spoiler alert warning for those of you who want to watch this but haven't read the last ACOTAR book so far. Oh man, where do I begin with this book? Y'all, I am going to be honest with you. I never liked Nesta. I thought she was a stuck-up person. I never liked her in the books, and then we find out, you know, why she's like it, why she's like the way she is. It makes complete and total sense. So let me explain for those of you who might not remember what happens. But Nesta is forced into the cauldron, I believe in A Court of Wings and Ruin, if I remember correctly. She's in the second book, she's forced into the cauldron, which turns you either like kills you dead or turns you into something else. So she got turned into a high fae, and she ended up like killing the King of Hybern. So we know that like she killed him, and she's struggling with that. In the previous book we find out that she killed him. She is still struggling a lot with the reality of what happened during the war. She almost saw Cassian died, and you know that like something is between them, but you're not quite sure what. Maybe it's just a friendship or whatever, but you know that, you know, Cassian almost died. She saw her father killed before her, and then she finally kills the King of Hybern. So all of that comes into play in this book because she is trying to figure out how to survive everything that she's seen. Also, she hates the Fae, or she did before she turned into one, because that's what happened when she was dipped into the cauldron. She was turned into a Fae. So she is also struggling with this new life. She doesn't know how she's going to fit in. She, you know, hates the body that she's in. She's not comfortable in any way. She also has found out that she has these new powers, and you find out a lot about those powers in this book, and it plays a huge part in the finale of the book. So this is the point where we're going to talk about spoilers. So again, if you don't want to know what happens in A Court of Silver Flames, please do not listen to this portion. If you want to watch it, keep watching the video and mute it so you can still see how I'm planning. But okay, I feel like that's a good spoiler warning. In this book, she is being out of control, according to Rysand and Feyre. And she's trying to figure out, like, why is she out of control, blah, blah, blah. So in order to, what the Night Court thinks is helping her, her sister and Feyre, Rysand, Azriel, Mor, and Cassian, they all think that she just needs to be kept busy. So in doing that, they bring her to the House of Wind, which is like the sister house in the Night Court castle thing. And they tell her, okay, so you're going to work in the library because you like to read. You're going to work in the library, shelving books and stuff, but you're also going to train with Cassian because you need to learn how to fight. And we think, basically, my understanding of that was it will help you with your temper problems and help you keep yourself out of control. She obviously resisted at first. Like, she has a huge, like, conflict with Cassian, and that's where, you know, a whole rift comes in. Like, she hates Cassian. She hates everyone, really. She's trying to struggle with herself. And what I caught of this was kind of like, she hates everyone, but she also is trying to protect them because she hates that they're trying to help her. She doesn't deserve to be helped. She doesn't deserve to be loved. And that's the whole point of this book, is she is finding her true place. She is finding her true self throughout this book. So she makes friends with one of the ladies in the library, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't remember what their specific name is, but she makes friends with one of the ladies in the library, and then she is permitted to, like, if she wants to go to the town, she has to climb down the, like, I think it was like 10,000 steps. I could be wrong. It might be 1,000. I think it's 1,000. 1,000 steps from the House of Wind down to the town area. She is allowed to. She just, you know, she has to climb those steps. So that is her, like, mental struggle. When she's frustrated, when she wants to get away from everything, when she wants to get away from herself, she climbs those stairs. She keeps climbing. She keeps climbing. And that's where I thought, because I had heard the climb the mountain phrase before, and that's what I thought that came from. I was like, oh, that must be her mountain, you know, figuratively. It's not. That's not where that quote comes from. I'm not going to spoil the whole book for you, but basically, like, she ends up going down to town to get something for Feyre, I think, or do something for the House of Wind with Cassian there. I don't remember exactly how she goes down to the town without, like, climbing all those stairs, but she goes down to the town, and she makes friends with, I think it's a swordsmith or something, a lady seller, and they form, like, a group friend. She basically finds that, like, she really likes doing the training, even though she doesn't admit it, and she encourages people from the library who had, like, a really rough past and who don't, like, really trust men. She encourages them to train. And for Illyrian warriors, who are Cassian and Azriel, they are, and Rysand as well. As a woman, your title is Valkyrie if you are one of the people who fight. But, like, I'm not going to go into the whole details, but it's pretty, like, the treatment of women in the Illyrian area is pretty rough. And they start, you know, training and fighting and stuff, and eventually the climb the mountain quote comes out. While all this is happening, you find out that Feyre and Rysand are expecting a baby, so they are trying to figure out parenthood, and, like, because Feyre's not an Illyrian warrior, things happen, and again, I'm not going to really give everything away. Also, I don't remember what all happens. The basic plot of it is, like, they're trying to figure all that. We're also struggling with, you know, Nesta's, you know, prickly personality, and they're juggling all that. And also, you find out in A Court of, I think it's either A Court of Frost and Starlight or the book before that, that the queens who were also, the human queens who were also forced into the cauldron, one of them was forced into the cauldron. One of them is crazy, and they're basically trying to start a war again, so you have to find, like, special relics or something, and Nesta ends up finding them all, and a whole battle pursues. It's all crazy. Nesta is, like, this intensely powerful human, and, like, only she can handle all of them at once. It's really crazy. I remember reading it and being like, dang. But it's a really, really good book without, like, going into all the explanation. It's a really, 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 really good book, and I really, really encourage you guys to read The Court of Silver Flame if you haven't read it already, and if you're reading the ACOTAR series. Granted, as I said, the reason why the A Court of Smut and Wingspan thing is there is because there's a lot of smut. Like, they do a lot of smut in this book, and I remember reading it and being like, wow, this is a lot. So, you know, you can always skip over that, but there are parts of it that are really important. But I really wanted to include as much of the theme in this book as I could through these stickers, so I hope that my explanation of, you know, why I included all these makes sense. The reason the sword and all that stuff is there is because of the relics that she has to find. The three girls are for the Valkyrie that they have become. Climb the Mountain is like a whole thing. Like, there's a whole thing about that. That's why I wanted to put that in there. So hopefully, like, you understand why I did this. And if you like the books, I hope that this is a good, like, representation of how I felt that the books needed to be represented. Does that make sense? Probably not. Alright everyone, that is it for this video of A Court of Silver Flames book review. I really hope you guys liked it. Like I said, I know that I can be all over the place when I discuss a book, but I hope you liked hearing about my thoughts. This was a really, really good book for me to read. I really enjoyed, you know, seeing Nesta's personality through her own eyes and through the eyes of other people. It was really cool to see the different points of view. I thought that was interesting. If you like this video and you want to see more of my book reviews or more of my book themed videos, you can check out my B6 reading planner playlist. It will be linked at the end of this video and in the description box below, along with other crafting content that I share in different playlists. I will leave the link to Galleria Designs & Co. and the sticker pack that I had from Temu if I can find it, because you guys know Temu doesn't always have them in stock all the time, so if there's one or a similar one, it will be linked. But I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out all of my fun reading planner videos. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, read on. Bye, guys.